requesting or manding is one of the first things that we teach our learners. So let's talk about a little terminology. We love to make up words for things, which is what a mand is, but essentially it's the same as requesting. A mand is the verbal operand of asking for something, asking for an item. It could be asking for help, asking for an action, asking for anything. The definition of a mand is that it's not triggered by any question. So, whereas a receptive label might be show me, give me, point to, attacked might be what is it, tell me about it. Those are all SDs, and the SD in those situations is a verbal SD. With manding, there really shouldn't be any kind of verbal SD. The SD is the EO, it's the motivation. It's wanting a drink, it's being thirsty, it's needing help. It's not something that should be verbal. So by definition, a mand is triggered by a need, a motivation for something, and that motivation or that need for something should trigger the behavior, which is asking for it. So if you are thirsty, the behavior should be asking for water, and the consequence should be that you get the water. So you're reinforcing the behavior of asking for water in response to thirst. So that's how a mand should be. I know sometimes a lot of times we'll ask our kids, what do you want? Do you want this? Do you want a drink? Are you hungry? And that's okay, but let's all acknowledge it's not really a mand. And if we're going to do that as a step, then we need to know how to fade that so that our kids can initiate really by acknowledging their needs of getting their needs met.
Absolutely. And, we can go a few ways on here. We can say, okay, well, let's talk about, kids who can talk and what types of mands would we teach them? And then, kids who can't talk, how do we teach them manding? So let's start with those kids who can't talk. What do we do? I mean, sure, we're always focusing on trying to, have them use their voice as much as they possibly can and get that going, even just by holding up things that they might want and having them just say some kind of utterance, like or something, and learning that, okay, if I turn my voice on, I can get that. But there's kids who it's really hard for them. But like Shira said, when we're teaching manding, how do we teach it so that it's easy for them to get their needs met? And if turning on their voice is too hard, we need to think of alternatives. So looking at some alternatives, I mean, the very first mand would even just be a reach, right? Somebody's reaching for something, that's indicating that they want it. You can shape that reach into a point. So often I've had kids who will point to items, and then the instructor will teach them, okay, well, I'm pointing to the item, but I have to touch the item when I'm pointing to it. And it's not really about touching the item, because what happens if the item is up high on a shelf? What if the item is across the room? So making sure that that reach turns into a point, but that point isn't I need to touch the item. The point is purely I'm pointing to something that I want that might be across the room or up high. And that's one of the very first simple steps of a mand. And then you can teach some basic sign language, and you can also teach some picture exchange or some type of even pressing a button. I have a student who is very low cognitively, and we've taught him literally to press that, that Staples red button, the easy button. He presses that to get his needs met because that's easy for him, and it's his way of communicating.
Yes, when we talk about manding or requesting, we're not talking about vocal responses. It could be any kind of response that really the definition is that it's in response to a need. So that response could be a point, a reach, it could even be a look or some kind of AAC. And with some of our earliest learners, if they're just getting started, we really won't even get to like vocal manding, and we'll focus on all that nonverbal communication. So creating situations where they look at you to continue a really fun interaction, that's a mand. To take your hand and help them with something, to give you an item that they need help opening or turning on. These are all really, really great ways to start teaching manding, especially with our younger learners who may or may not have the vocal skills, and that's not really the focus yet. But starting with manding, it's all kinds of requesting, everything from nonverbal to gestures to eye contact, anything that falls into that is manding. And when you're teaching Manding, you want to think about shaping. So shaping is, differentially reinforcing closer approximations of the desired behavior. So let's just say we were teaching a student to say cookie and we wanted them to say cookie as the ultimate goal, but they're not there yet. So you got to break that down as small as possible and reinforce those approximations. So maybe at first they just turn on their voice and they say, and gets reinforced with awesome cookie. Here's a cookie. And then once they could do that consistently, then you might try to get them to do a k and not reinforce the anymore, and then you're reinforcing k, and then once they could do that consistently, then they might do cook. However the student can do it, you want to think about breaking that down as small as possible and continuing to shape closer and closer approximations. It's the same thing within the exchange of a picture. You might just have them first touch the picture and reinforce that, and then they may have to exchange the picture and reinforce that. And then they may have to find the picture, exchange the picture, travel to the instructor, whatever that is. You want to start with the least amount that they could be successful, because remember, we want to make this easier and faster for them to communicate so that they're not going to replace it with some other, challenging behavior or something.
So when we're talking about requesting, what kinds of requests do you teach? So like Shira said, we always start with those non-vocal requests, anything that you can just get needs met quickly. And, if a student is talking, then we can go on to some other requests. And even if they're not, with pictures, with augmentative communication, we can be teaching more complex manding for sure. The F section of the APLs is really great because it does break down the mands into different categories. I don't always follow the scope and sequence of that, but it's really great for ideas. So, obviously basic mands are the fastest to learn, and as well, probably the most important, right? Your basic needs, your food, your water, all of that type of thing. And then once, people are requesting for food items and for water, those basic needs, if they're toilet trained, they're requesting for bathroom, all of those preferred items. Then next I would go on to, preferred items, preferred activities, all of that. And then I would go on to asking for help. And again, there's no scope and sequence to this. It's, but if their needs, if they need to ask for help, that's a huge one. Asking for actions. So it's those verb requests. And what I mean by that is that instead of saying water, or instead of saying phone or toy or whatever it is, they're saying things like push me on the swing. They're saying play. They're saying drink, eat. So they're using actions now as the verb. So like spin, and then you can start putting two words together. So it's like eat banana, push on swing, those types of things in terms of learning the requesting. And, once they're now requesting with items, they're requesting for actions, they're requesting for help. Then next you can get into asking for other things like, give me some examples. I'm thinking WH questions, but I'm totally jumping ahead, like who is it? Where is it? What is it? Those are all great requests as well. The other thing too would be to make sure that you're not only, providing that, but when I said the quality before, it's not about, if your learner can talk in 5-word phrases and they say car, that's not good enough. I wouldn't even count that as a request if your learner can give you more. So Shira said shaping before, shaping for something like cookie, into a cookie finally. But think about shaping a sentence, right? So if someone is capable of saying, oh, I want the blue car that's under the truck, great. And they just give you car. You're not going to reinforce that because, and I've seen it before, I've seen learners actually decrease their level of speech because people are reinforcing 1-word utterances when they're capable of 5-word utterances. So be careful there and really look at quality as well as getting that number count up.
So for some other videos on, teaching intermediate requesting, go check out the video that we're going to link here, and also a video on increasing mean length of utterance once a student can request with nouns.
For more information on teaching requesting, click the link in and around this video or in the description to receive the transfer trial visual that you can use when teaching Manding. We also encourage you to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future videos, and leave a like and comment below if you have further questions.